Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Teresa. I do videos on whatever I want. And today I thought I would keep it kind of light. I don't know about you guys, but I just had a really crazy, kind of like heavy week. And so I was like, you know what, with the TikTok ban and everything, I was like, let's just do something fun. I wanted to get back into my theater content, and I was like, what better way than to just do a bunch of theater questions right off the bat? But real quick, I wanted to talk about my weight loss medication right off the bat. And so I just wanted to say that I finally found where my doctor would be at in town, and I have a an appointment coming up in like 2 weeks. And so I should be back on my Fentamin. And so my goal now is just to see how much I will be able to lose with that and maintain from there. Luckily, the Tobermate has really been helping me actually like maintain the weight by only like going up 2 pound, like a pound, honestly, and coming back down. Obviously, depending on what I eat, if I eat like a lot of sodium, like back to back, obviously that's gonna like fluctuate things, but for the most pound, it's usually a pound and then coming back down. So, not the end of the world there. So, yeah, just wanted to share that little update for all of you. And then weight loss content will be kind of thrown in here and there, but I think once I go back on medication, I'm still going to do a like just 1 month update on the weight loss stuff. I don't want to take up this entire channel with weight loss stuff, even though I know that's what most of you are here for. Like I said, I want to get back to theater related content. And so, yeah, with that being said, let's get into these questions. Like I said, I had a really like hard and heavy week. And like I said, with TikTok being banned, some people are taking it like really heavily, some people aren't. Let's just do something fun. Why not? So I have a bunch of questions written down that um I looked some of these up, and then I had some of these come up in other videos. So let's just go for it. Okay, so how long have you been doing theater? So I've done theater ever since I was 5 years old. That's when I started, and I hated being on stage, and that's really hard to tell. If you know me now in person and obviously doing YouTube, you guys can't really tell. I'm pretty comfortable being on camera, even though I mess with my hair a lot. But and using words like "but" and stuff. I know I had a lot of people comment about that, like, in the way beginnings of my channel. Those videos no longer exist, but should, like, take a shot for every time I say that. I'm just kidding, please don't. I'm not advising that. YouTube will probably take down my video because I just said that. So yeah, I started when I was 5, and I actually first started out a dancer, and again, I hated dance. I actually had moments of my, teacher having to come on stage and physically, like, turn me because I literally would not dance in front of people, and so, yeah. The adoption, if you guys don't know, I'm adopted, really kind of plays into that, I think, and so there's that. But yeah, I've been doing it ever since I was 5, and there was a company that came to my school called Missoula Children's Theater. Funny enough, a lot of people from the Midwest started there, and so it's really cool to be where I'm at now and have a lot of people like talk about Missoula Children's Theater and talk about like that's how they started. And it's just so cool to see like all these years later. I'm 26 now, and so all these people who are like, oh, that's how I started was through Missoula, and so they're still like out there and bringing theater to kids. So that's a really winded answer for you guys, but you guys know my videos. This is how it goes. What was the very first show you were in? So it was a little show called The Frog Prince, and I was a Venus flytrap, and I hated it. uh, I should. I don't have the book that I made, but I was not impressed with it. Um, but I have a specific memory. It's not a happy memory, but of crying because they were really strict on costumes and making sure that we all like had our costume pieces together, and I lost, I think it was my headpiece, like the actual like Venus flytrap like actual piece. And so my sister luckily was in the show, and she like took me up to the directors, and I was just like bawling my eyes out because they just put this whole like pressure on us to like keep our costumes together, excuse me. And yeah, I just like completely lost it and needed to pull myself together. And as a little 5-year-old, yeah. So that wasn't great, but um yeah, same thing kind of like within dance. Everyone around me was having a blast and like shaking their butts as they were supposed to, and I just wasn't having it. I didn't like that. I didn't like how they were making us literally like dance and shake our little butts. Not in a sexual way, but yeah, in a way that I wasn't comfortable with that. Like even at 5, I was like, no, I just um but yeah. What is your favorite show you've done? So I probably would say my favorite show I did was probably Guys and Dolls in high school. And that's mainly because we had guys be leads, which was really nice. Because if you have ever done a production in high school and you have females be leads, it is a whole thing. There's a lot of drama. There's just a lot of stuff going on when females are leads, and having the guys as leads was the best thing ever. There was just so much pressure like taken off. There was just a lot of fun behind the scenes. We had a tradition of singing "Rip Pants" from SpongeBob SquarePants because somebody literally ripped their pants on stage. Each time we were changing costumes out of our costumes at the end of each show. Like there was just so many good memories from that. And so yeah, it was just great having the guys as leads, and if something major, like, went down, they were just, like, cool with it. Like, it wasn't a big deal with them. They weren't holding grudges against people, like, ugh. So shout out to any of the guys, like, if they're watching this, like, shout out to you guys because you guys just made that production just so fun and lighthearted and what, like, high school theater should have been the entire time, you know? So, I mean, if you know, you know. Like I said, if you ever done a high school production, you totally know what I'm talking about. You have directed as well. What do you prefer, acting or directing? This is a really hard question because definitely depending on the show, it varies. Um, I like directing. I like the amount of creativity that goes into directing, but I also like acting. Like acting's where my home is, I would say. I mean, anytime I'm in a theater, it's home. Let's all get real, you know? But I mean, yeah, it depends on the show, but I also like acting because this chair, I swear. Um, I like acting because then I'm not the one in charge. I mean, I like being in charge. I like being a leader. Like that's my personality, but I mean, I also like not having to be the one to make all the decisions. Sometimes, of just like sitting back, only have one thing to worry about, which is my character and having to like do all of that. But yeah, I mean, because the one thing I will say that I don't like about directing slash producing is having to worry about like set and set design because that's not my strength. Because of my disability, dyscalculia, I have a really hard time understanding measurements. And so once you start talking to me about sets and like the length of something and trying to just talk to me of how this is going to like visually look, you know, you've lost me. Like, because I just, that's not how my brain is because my disability, I can't visualize that of, hey, we're going to have this set piece that's going to be like 3 feet long, and then we're going to have this piece that's going to be like 5 feet in width. And like, that's just not how, again, my brain can't compute that. So that's the one downfall about directing slash producing that I don't like. But again, that's just a brain difference in me, my neurological disorder that is a thing. So yeah. But I think first and foremost, if I have to choose one, it's gonna be acting. Um, yeah. Because there are times in acting too where a director will be like, hey, go take these people and go work on this scene with them, you know. Um, in Annie, the last show that I did in high school, I literally took the group that I was in for one of the scenes and went and worked on a scene because the director wanted us to and told I think he wanted us to, and I don't even think he had to tell me to like go do it or whatever. So yeah. Anywho, next question. What is the last show you did? I just answered that. It was Annie. Which is funny because I feel like every theater kid starts out doing Annie. But my last show I actually did was Annie. So that's that. Have you ever seen any Broadway shows? If so, what was the first one and which was your favorite? The first Broadway show I saw, unfortunately, was Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark or Turn On the Dark. Um, yeah, it was for middle school, and I was completely unaware of the controversy behind that show. Obviously, I was just a little seventh grader at the time. No, eighth grader at the time. And now I'm like, oh, I get it because I'm like, of course, you have all these stunt people being Spider-Man who obviously need to fly, and you have a lot of people getting hurt and injured. And so, yeah. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, that was my first like Broadway show I've ever seen. And that opened up my eyes to the world of Broadway, where I was like, oh, people do what I do but get paid for it. Sign me up. But yeah. And then my favorite show that I've ever seen would actually be I went to New York a second time. So the first time was just like for a class trip. We went to New York and Boston. And then the second time was actually with like people to kind of get experience and exposed to Broadway shows and stuff, and to train with professional Broadway actors. And we saw 3 shows. We saw SpongeBob SquarePants, which really surprised me. I was like, "Okay, cool, don't underestimate SpongeBob ever again." Anastasia, and Beautiful, the Carole King, the musical. And I'm 26, so I do know about Anastasia. I know about SpongeBob. I live off of SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob. I didn't watch a lot of Anastasia, like, growing up, because I did grow up a Disney kid. Obviously, I'm a theater kid, I'm a Harry Potter kid. I just didn't watch a lot of Anastasia, but out of the 3 musicals that we saw, guess which one we liked the most? Carole King, Beautiful. That was the best musical I have ever seen in my life, and I didn't even know who Carole King was. Um, if you're like, "Who on earth is Carole King?" We all know who Carole King is because you probably all know Gilmore Girls. And you all know the theme song to Gilmore Girls. Carole King is the one singing that song. She is the one who wrote that song. You also know Locomotion. She's the one who sang, well, who wrote the song, The Locomotion. So we all actually know who Carole King is. Um, and yeah, and even so, I went with two other teenagers at the time. And so all of us older ones were aware of SpongeBob and Anastasia. And yeah, we all said like Carole King was our favorite musical that we saw. So, and even the like younger kids, because we did go with 12-year-olds at the time, because it was open up to anybody. And even they were like, no, that one was actually really good. So, which is saying something when it's going up against SpongeBob and Anastasia. So yeah, because I'm sure for them, actually, SpongeBob would have been like too little kiddish, but whatever. If I like this question a lot. Eh, So, if you could sit down with one male and one female Broadway legend, dead or alive, who would you pick? This is easy for me. This is really easy for me. I would pick for male Vic Van Dyke, and I would obviously pick for female Julie Andrews. I know that someday they will unfortunately not be here with us. And I have always said, and I have said it multiple times on this channel, at least twice, that once they go, I will not be okay. And I still stand by that. If this is the year that at least like Julie Andrews go, well, Vic Van Dyke's older than she is. But if they go, I will not be okay. So if I can sit down and have a conversation with both Vic Van Dyke and Julie Andrews, I can die happy, okay? Because they they're just incredible. I mean, Julie Andrews, you guys, any theater kid will say this, but Julie Andrews raised all of us. We would not know our scale, our basic vocal scale, if it wasn't for freaking Julie Andrews. Like, mm. And there's so many lessons to Mary Poppins that she taught us. Not just like, I mean, our scales, that's from Sound of Music, but like, there's just so many good lessons in Mary Poppins. Uh, like how, what is I'm trying to think right now, how like in every job there's an element of fun. Like that's such a good lesson. Like we all have to find something in our job to make it fun, and then snap, the job's a game. Ugh, that's so good. Um, and even in the sequel, there's just like really good lessons too in that one. But yeah, Sound of Music is just so good. Um, to piggyback off of that, if there's like people who aren't alive that I could talk to, dead or alive, probably male or female, like one male, one female. I mean, I can think of a few males that I actually would want to talk to who aren't with us anymore, like legends. I would pick Stephen Sondheim and Roger and Hammerstein, just because all three of those men shaped what we know today to be Broadway. And I think, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but Sondheim, I believe, was actually, pretty sure, I believe Sondheim was actually mentored by Roger at some point in life. I mean, they just changed the flipping game for theater. I mean, especially Roger and Hammerstein. They're the ones that created Oklahoma, which was the start of the book musical, which gave birth to literally what we know today. I mean, Oklahoma literally. created music that moved the storyline along to make it make sense, because before that time, music was, yes, in theater, in shows, but it didn't connect with the actual dialogue of a show, right? So Oklahoma made that happen, and that's all thanks to um, Roger and Hammerstein. So yeah, and then yeah, I mean Julie Andrews is just like top female that I would want to talk to. Also like alive, please give me. I mean, I kind of did talk to her. I got to sit in on a Zoom call with her, but DeBose, if I could actually like talk to her, Ariana DeBose, please and thank you. Um, Idina Menzel, mm, Kristen Chenoweth. This is just mainly because I'm on a Wicked like kick right now. There's just so many. Sutton Foster, oh my god, because her stamina is insane. If Sutton Foster and her stamina, like if I could talk to Sutton Foster, like please and thank you. Oh, female Broadway legend who's not with us anymore, rest in peace, Angela Lansbury, because she was so diverse in what she did, you guys, like on stage and even like on screen. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna finish this up because I just like am going off on this. Top 5 Broadway shows. So first and foremost will always be Rent. Rent has a very, very special place in my heart. And that's all thanks to like Jonathan Larson. Number 2 spot is probably Legally Blonde. Well, it's tied between Legally Blonde and Matilda as like number 2 and number 3. They kind of like, depending on like the day, they kind of switch spots. But Matilda and Legally Blonde, because they both really like hit close to home for me. Um, and then I would say Wicked is definitely up there. Again, hitting really close to home for me personally. And then another one would be Waitress, I would say. Well, I'm not going to put Waitress up there because again, it needs to be very like personal to me to make a top 5. So I'm actually going to put The Prom up there because again, that's super personal to me, being somebody of LGBTQ, and being in a very like closed minded area, at least growing up in a closed minded area. I'm not so much in a closed minded area anymore. But yeah, those would be my top 5. So Rent, Legally Blonde, Matilda, Wicked, The Prom would be my top 5 shows. And then like right underneath that would be Waitress, because I could watch Waitress like over and over again. But yeah. And then the last one is what I've totally forgot to turn off my emails. I'm so sorry about that. The last one is what shows would you want to see in person? So I always said Lion King is definitely one I want to see in person. Um, one of my top goals before like my parents go is go see Lion King. At least like my mom, because she's talked about it for a long time, is go see Lion King. Um, and that's definitely something I want to see. I do want to see Wicked in person. I've seen the stage version on YouTube because thank you bootlegs. Um, but seeing Wicked 2 in person would be amazing. Running shows right now. It just looked like I was gonna sneeze. Running shows right now. I want to see Six the musical as well. So those are the 3 right now that I would like want to see in person. Would be Lion King, Wicked, and then Six. Just as one that's like running right now, and I think Six is still pretty popular, maybe. So yeah, those are just my theater questions, you guys. Thanks for allowing me to nerd out here, but like I said, this is my channel and I do whatever I want. Um, yeah, like I said, it was just kind of like a heavy week for me personally. A lot kind of just going on this week personally. And like I said, just a lot of stuff I feel like going on in the world and whatnot. So if you guys liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below. Yeah, you guys got me in my pajamas because unfortunately today we are having my hometown weather here. So we love that. But like I said, if you guys liked this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. I'll be doing more theater related videos. I'll see what I can come up with. If you guys have any ideas, be sure to leave them down below. I love nerding out about theater with you guys. Um, and let me know some of like your favorite musicals. What was your first Broadway show that you guys saw if you've had the chance to see? If not, like what is a Broadway show that you guys want to see? Let me know down below and hit the subscribe button as well. I post every single weekend. Hit that bell so you know whenever I post a new video. Usually it's Saturday, but lately it's been Sunday just because I get busy running around doing errands on Saturday now. So, yeah, I hope you all have an amazing weekend. I don't remember what's going on this weekend. Some of you have off tomorrow from work and stuff, which I'm so happy for you. I get to work tomorrow, which is all okay because that means I get paid. So yeah. So I hope you guys all have an amazing week and I will see you all next weekend. Bye.